After what feels like an eternity, we finally have a concrete release date for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And that date is December 4th of this year. That's right, Nintendo has officially confirmed when Samus' next big adventure will hit, and for fans of the Prime series, this is massive news. But let's be honest here, after all the delays, the development drama, and years of silence, I'm cautiously optimistic and maybe even skeptical. Could this really live up to the legacy of the original trilogy, or is this just another hype train headed for disappointment? And so in today's video, that's what we're going to dive into. Let's go. Okay, so first, let's set the stage here. Metroid Prime 4 was announced way back in 2017 at E3, and fans of the series have been waiting ever since. And so to put it into perspective, the last proper Prime title, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, came out in 2007. That's 18 years without a true follow-up. The wait has been excruciating, filled with rumors, leaks, and plenty of speculation. And earlier this year, we started seeing ratings pop up in the US, Brazil, and South Korea, which fueled chatter that the game might drop any day. Some leaks even suggested it could release as soon as, well, this month, but clearly those rumors were off. But now, Nintendo has finally put a stake in the ground, and that's December 4th of this year. And it's hard not to feel a mix of excitement and apprehension, especially given the turbulent development history, which included a complete restart under Retro Studios back in 2019. And so now that we have a date, let's talk about what we actually know about the game, the meat and potatoes of what could make or break Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And so from what Nintendo has revealed, Beyond will continue the first-person shooter style of the original Prime games, but with a few big additions. Most noticeably, there's the Viola bike, and Samus is shown riding it through massive desert landscapes on the planet Viewros. The bike isn't just for travel, there's combat on it as well. That's a new direction for the series, and I do have to admit, it looks kind of fun, but also kind of empty, at least from what we've seen. The environments are huge, but are they dense enough to make exploration exciting, or just sprawling spaces for the sake of scale? And then there's the psychic powers. Samus can now guide her shots, move objects, and manipulate puzzles using her mind. Time even slows down when you activate these abilities, and so this feels like a fresh twist on the standard Metroidvania formula, and I'm genuinely curious to see if these powers will integrate seamlessly with exploration and combat, or if they'll feel gimmicky. And yes, there is a new suit of armor, red and black, sleek, and intimidating. And it's not just cosmetic, this seems to tie into the story somehow, as Samus finds herself on Viewros with cryptic hints about being the chosen one. And so think classic Metroid storytelling, mysterious, a little vague, and loaded with intrigue. And of course, we can't forget Sylix, as he is returning as a villain. And now all of this sounds great on paper, but the real question is, will it actually feel like a Metroid Prime game, or is Nintendo taking a misstep after so many years of delay? But let's highlight the positives here, because there are some exciting things that we've seen so far. Firstly, the return of the Prime series is a big deal. The original Metroid Prime redefined what a 3D Metroid game could be. Turning a 2D Metroidvania into a fully 3D first-person shooter was an insane gamble back then, and it paid off. Retro Studios clearly knows how to handle Samus in 3D, and having them back in the driver's seat gives me hope that Beyond won't just be a cash grab. And second are the controls. Unlike Prime 3, which was designed for the Wii and motion controls, this is being built for a modern controller setup. And so that could finally give us the smooth, intuitive shooting and exploration experience that fans have wanted for years. And let's not overlook the psychic abilities. If implemented well, they could make combat and puzzle solving more dynamic than ever. And finally, for Switch 2 owners, this fills a major gap. Nintendo consoles have always been light on first-person shooters, and the Switch 2 is no exception. And so having a polished, first-party FPS could finally give the system a genre it desperately needs to compete with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. And now here's where my optimism takes a cautious turn. We have to remember that Metroid Prime 4 has been in development for nearly a decade. Yes, a decade. And we've seen big projects flop before, even with the best of intentions. There's always the risk that after all this time, the game might feel disjointed, or worse, that it'll rely too heavily on nostalgia and gimmicks instead of introducing truly innovative gameplay. And then there's the Viola bike. Sure, it looks cool in the trailer, but open world gameplay is tricky. Too much empty space, and exploration can quickly become a chore. Bike combat could be fun, or it could just feel tacked on. And speaking of tacked on, psychic powers are exciting, but they've been a little all over the place in the footage that we've seen so far. Will they enhance the core gameplay loop or overshadow the classic Metroid exploration mechanics? And so these are questions we just don't have answers to yet, and maybe we will. And if that wasn't enough to worry about, there's the elephant in the room. And yes, I'm talking about Metroid Prime 5. Rumors suggest that Nintendo is already thinking ahead and could even have the next entry in development. And so this is both exciting and also a little worrying. Exciting because it implies confidence in the franchise, but worrying because it sets a high bar for Beyond. If the game doesn't perform or gets mixed reviews, it could put the entire future of the series in jeopardy. And also, you have to consider Nintendo's track record with delayed releases. While December 4th of this year is the official date, history has taught us that the release dates can shift. Will they really stick to it, or will we see another slip? As much as I want to believe this is finally the end of the waiting game, my skeptical side says maybe not. And let's not forget the marketing angle. Amiibos, a visual retrospect book, trailers teasing psychic powers, new armor and Silex collectibles. Nintendo is pulling out all the stops. And so that's a lot of hype, but hype can be dangerous. Sometimes it sets expectations so high that the final game struggles to meet them. And so what do we need from Metroid Prime 4 Beyond to actually deliver? And here's my take. Number one is exploration depth. The massive environments need to feel alive, not just empty deserts. There should be hidden paths, secrets, and environmental storytelling reminiscent of the original trilogy. Number two is seamless psychic powers. The new abilities should complement, not replace, traditional Metroid gameplay. They need to feel like a natural evolution and not a tacked-on gimmick. Number three is balanced combat. Viola combat should enhance the thrill, not overshadow the on-foot shooting and classic first-person mechanics. Number four is a strong narrative. The story of Samus as the Chosen One and the mystery of Viewros needs to be engaging without over-explaining everything. And last but not least is performance. This is crucial. Switch 2 is capable, but if the game stutters or suffers from long load times, it could sour the experience fast. And of course, there are things that we can't know yet, and that's where the excitement and frustration collide. And personally, I'm excited. There is a lot to love. The return of the Prime series, psychic abilities, the Viola bike, new armor, Silex, it all looks incredible. But I'm not going to pretend that it's all sunshine and rainbows. A long, turbulent development cycle combined with massive expectations is a recipe for disappointment if things aren't handled carefully. And I'm especially skeptical about how open-world exploration will look and whether the psychic powers will actually feel natural in the game. And let's not even get started on the potential for Nintendo to overhype things, the amiibos, the retrospective book, the marketing blitz. It's a lot. But hey, maybe all that effort will pay off and we'll get the Metroid game of a lifetime. And now before we wrap up, let's speculate a little because speculation is half the fun. Could Metroid Prime 4 Beyond set the blueprint for the next decade of 3D Metroidvanias? It has the potential. Psychic powers could introduce new puzzle mechanics that other games will borrow. The Viola could make traversal more dynamic, like a hybrid of classic exploration and fast-paced action. And if Retro Studios nails the narrative of Viewros and Samus' destiny, it could be one of the most memorable Prime entries ever. And as for Metroid Prime 5, if it really is in early development, I'm hoping Beyond lays a solid foundation. And so imagine a seamless continuation with more refined powers, even bigger worlds, and truly open-ended exploration. That's the dream. But again, I'm cautiously optimistic. We've been burned before with delays, hype, and unmet expectations. And so there you have it. The official release date is December 4th of this year. That's front and center. We know some gameplay features like psychic powers, a new armor set, the Viola bike, Silex returning, and mysterious alien worlds to explore. We've speculated about Metroid Prime 5, and we've voiced the good, the bad, and also my skepticism, which I'm sure that a lot of other people do have as well. But at the end of the day, I want to believe that Metroid Prime 4 Beyond can deliver a triumphant return for Samus. But until we can actually play it, I'm cautiously hopeful, skeptical, and maybe just a little impatient. And so my overall questions to you guys are, what do you think about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? Are you excited? Are you cautiously optimistic like I am? Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it's going to be bad? Has it been way too long that you've just lost interest in Metroid Prime in general? Let me know in the comments down below. Would definitely love to hear your thoughts. And if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, as I will continue to make more gaming news videos just like this one. Until next time.